Well, now we're going to move to our next presentation. Kristen, can you say hello?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm super excited to be here.
Well, thank you so much. So as you pull up your slides, can you give us a self-introduction?
Yes, hopefully I am sharing my slides, so I just want to make
Yep,
sure
that
that,
looks fantastic.
okay,
Yep,
good,
that looks fantastic. Take it away.
good deal. So my name is Kristen Fry. I'm the Executive Vice President of the Plains States, which means Nebraska, North Dakota, and South Dakota, for an alcohol distributor named Republic National Distributing Company. We're the nation's second largest wine and spirits distributor. And this is a new role for me. So I'm new to the Omaha chapter of the Women's Leadership Association. I recently moved from Arkansas to Nebraska in January. So we just bought our home in April in Papillion, and I'm super excited to be with everyone today. So thank you for this opportunity. And some of this you'll have heard, and it's just a really good reminder. So my topic is around strategies to maintain composure. And a lot of our themes that Tonya shared, they interlace. We'll be talking about some of those things in a little bit more detail. So here we go on composure. One of the things that I love to do is, when I can move forward, there we go. What is the definition of composure? It's feeling calm and confident and in control. And one of the things about composure is that people can see it. It's reflected in your attitude, in your body language, and in your overall presence. And composure matters because this is how we tackle our work, and it's what people see. So we want to do this confidently. And it's about how we combat stress as it's occurring. So being composed, it does help instill confidence in people around you. And again, people are watching, it's evident. Composure is important. And we live in a world of increasing pressure. So right now, 62% of adults in the United States would say that they have high levels of stress, not just stress, high levels. And 26% of people expect to feel even more stressed out in the future. So composure matters. How are we tackling this pressure? What are we doing with it? Hopefully some of these techniques will help you too. What are examples of high stress situations? Everything from performance reviews to presentations and public speaking, whether or not to speak up at a meeting. Of course, workplace conflicts can be really difficult to tackle. And then even unfamiliar circumstances, that can often be a high stress situation. And if my husband were watching this, he would say that one of his high stress situations is when babies or toddlers are screaming. It really scrambles his brain. So I'll have to share some of these points with him too. Why do we put ourselves into these kind of situations? We intentionally do this oftentimes. Here I am today presenting to you. And a lot of it is because it is how we embrace life. We want challenges. We want the rewarding outcome. We need the practice of overcoming cool opportunities and really interesting situations. And doing this breeds resilience. And again, I'm going to go to a definition of resilience. It's the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult and challenging situations. So resilience is about how we pop back and what that shows to everyone. And it's so important, and it's important in our children, and it's important in how you tackle your day too. This also helps us feel empowered. When we overcome these things, then it's our way to connect, to show that we have grown. And we're going to talk about this some more. A personal example that I want to share is I had gone to Argentina, my husband and it was a business trip. So I was the executive traveling, and most of the people that I was traveling with are male, very high level executives and their spouses. So we went to Argentina, we checked into a hotel, and everyone agreed that we would drop our bags at our rooms and then meet back in the lobby. And so we did that. And as my husband and I were coming back to the lobby, I walked up and I saw a circle of men in the middle of the lobby and their spouses off to the side. And it actually made me literally pause in my steps. Where do I go? Where do I belong? Those men, those are the executives in my industry, and I'm an executive in my industry. That's where I belong. And I knew that everything would change when I approached that group. What are they talking about? How comfortable are they? It's a different dynamic entirely. And so it's interesting because I just paused for a second, took a deep breath, and realized, like, I'm going to be my authentic self and we're going to go forward. And so my husband and I approached the group and the group of men, and we stood, and everyone had a really good time. But it helped set the stage for the rest of our visit. And it was very interesting because later, months later, I mentioned to my husband what an odd situation that was and how important it was to me that I had the courage to approach that group. And he said, wow, I never knew you would have felt like that because you own any situation you go into. Like you always shine. And so that you would have had to pause or even worry about that it's telling. And I know that many of you go through similar circumstances. And so I'm very excited to be talking with you again today. So when you are able to remain calm under pressure, here are some of the things that it provides. It's greater focus at work. You're able to be more productive, and you can solve challenging problems under tight timelines. You have stronger interpersonal skills, and you are leading by example. And it's critical to know how much you are being watched, whether that's from your family, from your children, from your associates that report to you, or even leaders that you report to. They're watching how you respond to this pressure. Healthy optimism and enthusiasm, again, remaining calm. This increases your chances of success, and it helps make a manageable environment. And so the ability to remain calm under pressure is important. Again, being present with your friends and your family. When you're able to be calm, it gives you energy back so that you can be more present and you can engage in hobbies, and everything around you can just be tackled more smoothly because you're calm and composed. Obviously gives you better all-around health and a relaxed presence. And the relaxed presence is important too, because again, you want to be able to show that you're able to take on new challenges and responsibilities. And when you're able to be calm and adaptable, then you can tackle those new things. And that's what we love about life, right? And that's why you're here today too, is that you want to grow and you want to be challenged and you want to do exciting things. So being calm has to be practiced. It isn't easy all the time, and there'll be some fun tips along the way. So the other thing about remaining calm is that you're more likely to be asked to take on bigger challenges, and you're also able to tackle those challenges more readily. So being calm and composed definitely matters. And I want to share some of the tips that have helped me along the way. First tip is around being present. I am a mother. I have two sons that are 21 and 19, but I know very well the feeling of being guilty no matter where you are. If you're at home, you're guilty that you're not working. If you're working, you're guilty that you're not with your children. And I always felt like it was such a struggle. And being present saved my life, probably. This is really where I realized that whatever I was choosing to do, if I was missing the spelling bee and I was at work, I can't be at the spelling bee. So I'm going to be 100% focused on work. When I was at home, I wasn't on my laptop trying to shoo away my children. If I was spending time with my children, that's what I would be doing. And then I'd get on my laptop when they were asleep. You are making a choice of what you're doing. So whatever you're choosing to do, be present in that moment. It really is a game changer for just your mind headspace. And another tip is to say and instead of but. But negates everything that was said before it. And I'm going to share 2 examples of how powerful saying and is instead. So imagine that you're getting ready for a hot date and you walk out of the bedroom and you have this beautiful red dress on and your husband says, "Oh, you look great in your red dress, but I wish you'd worn the blue one." All of a sudden you're feeling like, man, I don't feel great in my red dress. I'm not sure I'm going to feel great in my blue one either. But if he had said, and hey, you look great in that red dress, and I can't wait to see you in the blue one, you're like, yeah, I am rocking 2 dresses fantastically. It also applies to kids and coworkers, but the other example I'm going to give you is around children. Imagine that your son steps off the soccer field and you say, "Man, you did a fantastic job out there, but I wish you'd scored a goal." All of a sudden, he's like, "Man, I don't feel so good about how I did. And who knows if I'll ever score a goal." But if you said, "Hey, you did a fantastic job out there, and maybe next time you can score a goal," he's like, "Yeah, I did a great job. And next time I might be able to score a goal." And is so powerful. I really, my team at work makes fun of me because they've actually caught themselves many times saying but instead of and it's becoming a way of thinking and a way of phrasing things, and they're realizing how powerful it is. So you're welcome to make fun of me too for this tip. It is really powerful. Another thing that has helped me is to be the buffalo. This is such a cool story. It's from Rory Baden, is the first place that I heard it. But essentially, waiting or prolonging trouble and approaching trouble always makes it worse. So the example here is that if a storm is coming, a cow will often turn and run away from the storm. What that means is that the cow is running underneath the storm for a lot longer. A buffalo, however, will actually charge the storm, and they almost run into it and through it, and the damage that's done, the frustration, and the amount of time that it takes to solve that problem is all so much shorter because you faced the challenge head on. And I do talk with my team about be the buffalo. It's sort of a good mantra. So when in doubt, be the buffalo. I always ask my team, as soon as you know that something's wrong, that you would prefer to sweep under the rug because it would be easier. It really isn't easier, and it makes things a lot more difficult to tackle later. And so get somebody on board and we'll be partners in getting through the storm together. Be the buffalo. Another great tip is to make one good decision at a time. I know this sounds so simple, and people are like, "Oh, this is revolutionary." It's really not revolutionary, but it's surprising how often we make life harder on ourselves. Making one good decision at a time adds up to a great life. Sometimes it means making your bed in the morning, or not having that candy bar, or going out for the run, or going to yoga class. But all of those mini decisions stacked on top of each other really do add up to a great life. So this one is as simple as it sounds. Make one good decision at a time. The last tip that I'll share right here is just around 3 rules of engagement. And this is a guideline that I use with my team ahead of meetings. If I know that something could turn into a gripe session, or people haven't really thought through potential solutions. Instead, they just want to bring problems and rehash the past. I don't want them to do that. So I set these parameters at the beginning of certainly group meetings, but even sometimes one-on-ones. I expect people to be positive, to be forward-looking, and to be solution-oriented. And that really does help people change how they're thinking about a problem and how the future or how forward-looking things could be different. And so you'd be surprised how important these 3 rules of engagement can be. And I hope you'll try it with your team. It really does make a difference. So here are some pressure busting techniques so that you can keep your composure. And the way that I broke this up is that there's kind of every day. And these are things, it's a little bit like putting on your own oxygen mask before you can help other people. And you've probably heard the saying, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. This is the everyday necessity to being composed and to being able to keep your calm and your confidence and your presence when you're facing difficult things. So every day, start your day with gratitude. There is scientific research showing that if you start your day with gratitude, it builds resilience and the knowledge that you can overcome almost anything that's going to come to you. So gratitude is huge. We heard it from Tonya too. Start your day with gratitude. The second and third buckets are around having a positive attitude and a good outlook on life and expecting the best, not the worst. Sometimes it is about self-talk and it can even be about past experience. But these are the kind of triggers that you want to set for yourself going forward. Expect the best, have a positive thought about what's going to happen. Prioritize your health and well-being. So this is a lot about exercise builds endorphins. The endorphins help you be positive, eating well, sleeping well. All of those give you such a strong foundation so that you can tackle whatever comes to you. Another step for every day is to de-stress your environment. Sometimes we're moving so fast that we forget that we're in control of what we need to get done. So in your office or even in your home office, however you need it to be organized, or if you want it to be quieter, there are actually in negotiation classes, you'll learn about how you can make people stressed out so that they feel the need to rush or they feel compelled to make a decision quickly. And sometimes that's as simple as the color on the background of your wall or whether you're looking at a clock. So the de-stress your environment is a lot about managing what's around you so that you can tackle what you need to. Feel free to shut your door at the office if you need to. Organize your priorities and focus on what matters most right now. This is kind of that one good decision at a time. What is the priority? What do I need to do so that everything can move forward more seamlessly? Continually realign yourself to why. One of the great examples I have is that I once signed up to be a coach on my son's mountain biking team. And I wanted to do that so that I could spend more time with him. The mere fact is that he was a much better biker than I was. So we would show up to mountain biking practice and he would take off and be with the front of the pack. And I was left to play sweeper and kind of clean up for any kids that were lagging. And it was funny because it was a really good situation for me to realign myself to my why. Why am I doing this? If it's to spend time with Colin, then I need to find a different way to do that because this is a lot of time dedicated to something that's not panning out. So feel free to make yourself accountable to what you want. Seeking assistance. So we are too leery to ask for help. Now, I want to caution people because you can't just say, help, help, help me. You need to be very specific about what you need, and especially to the men in your life. Luckily, my husband said to me, I'll run through walls. Just be very clear about what you want. So if I tell him, pick up Johnny at 3, or I need XYZ, I need these dishes done, or I really want to have salmon tonight, it's okay to ask for what you want and get that assistance so that life can move more freely. Don't be afraid to ask. Again, every day, get into nature. Nature is super important, that we're connecting and not just spinning our wheels, whether that's in your house or in the office, or even sometimes if you have a hobby that you're addicted to, that's great. And get out into nature so that you can just reset yourself. And then have a support network. This is about friends. It's about book clubs. It's about colleagues. It's about previous colleagues. Make sure that people, you know, who you can reach out to and that they can reach out to you. When you're preparing for an event that you expect to be stressful, like a performance review or speaking in public, prepare for it. You have to analyze and learn. And again, frame the situation as a positive opportunity. And imagine the best outcome or solution, because that's what you'll draw to you. The power of attraction is real, and what you put out in the universe is a lot of what you get back. So again, imagine the best possible outcome so that that's what you're working toward, and that's what's coming to you. I want to, on bullet point number 4, I've got that you need to consider what is your comfort zone and what is your stretch zone. And part of the reason that I want to challenge you to think about that is because the stretch zone is where you grow the most. It's where you learn, and it's where it's most challenging, and it may feel uncomfortable. And you know that this is out of your comfort zone, but that's where you're going to have the most growth. And it's a really special thing. And when you overcome those challenges, man, you feel empowered to take on the world. I also have a picture here for V, for victory. This is a universal sign across the world. You can see people when they're racing and they win the race, they throw up their hands and they're like, yes, I did it. And even these power poses, I wrote the name Amy Cuddy on here because she has an awesome TED Talk. These power poses are super powerful. You will literally change your brain and your body chemistry by doing these poses. So I'm not kidding here. For 2 minutes ahead of this presentation, I stood in my power pose victory. And it really does make you feel like, all right, I'm stronger, I'm confident, I'm ready to go get this done. I was like Rocky. All right. The next thing that I'll say is in the moment of a pressure situation. There are both physical and mental things that matter. So physically, take your deep breaths. There's something called boxed breathing technique where you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, breathe in for 4. You get it. It's a box. But those deep breaths matter, and they do help calm your mind. Counting to 100, focusing on action you can take right now, even taking a break. Focusing on one task at a time and maintaining open communication. That progressive muscle relaxation technique is interesting. If you're sitting in a high stress meeting and you start thinking about relax my toes, relax my calves, relax my thighs, it helps reset you and ground you. Again, mental, have a positive attitude and approach, stay in the moment. Don't worry too much about the future. There's often not much you can do about the future. Stay in that moment and figure out what to do next. Control what you can control and avoid the what if rabbit hole. And the last thing I'll say here is that remember, you are making a choice. If your boss says, I need that project, it needs to get done. If you choose to stay late and miss Susie's softball game, that's your choice. There are always alternatives. So I will challenge you to figure out what the alternatives are. You could have a conversation with your boss and say, hey, would it be okay if I got that to you at 10 a.m.? Or would it be possible if I had David help me with the project? There are always alternatives, and you are making a choice about what you do. And the last thing I'll remind you of is, as the managers, you are not only responsible, but it's your opportunity to make sure that people are working on things that they should be working on. They have strengths and weaknesses. You can reassign tasks accordingly. You have business goals to achieve, and it's your responsibility to make sure that you've got people delegated in the right places so that you can achieve those goals in the best fashion possible. And so, as my sister says, you've got this. You can be composed. I hope that today I've shared some really good tips. And I also hope that it wasn't too evident that I slept 3 hours last night. My plane was rerouted. I had to cancel a hotel, get a new hotel, reconnect in a different city. So all of these challenges, this is me being composed and sharing my life with you, and we can do this together. I am sharing on this slide. Again, my name is Kristen Fry. I'm with RNDC. That's my phone number. I'd love it if you reached out. I should have said that my email address is kristen.fry@rndc-usa.com. And I'd love to hear from you. And I thank you again for being here today.
Well, Kristen, thank you so much for that fantastic presentation and for taking the time to talk to us today. I think we have time for maybe a couple of questions. I'll start with this fun one. The first question from Zoe was, you mentioned Arkansas. Was Walmart one of your accounts in the past?
Yes, it was. I had responsibility for Walmart and Sam's Club and BJ's Wholesale across the country. So this is a very different side of leadership in the state responsibility business for me.
That's great. Well, I think we'll go with this one question from Una, then we'll ask you for some final thoughts. And Una says, I did not remain calm under pressure. How do I rebuild confidence with my team?
Have an open and honest conversation with them. It depends on how you want to tackle it. You might do it in one-on-one conversations. You could go into a team meeting and say, hey, everybody, here's an example of what happened. I know you all saw me. I wasn't at my best. I want you to hold me accountable. And here are some of the things that you can do to help me make sure that we can tackle things in a smoother fashion going forward. But I love transparent conversations. They, especially when people know that you are doing it because you respect them and that you want the respect back. If people honestly understand that you are trying to make each other better and your business better, then they're really open to transparent conversations.
Well, thank you so much. Well, before we go to our panel discussion, do you have any final words of wisdom for all of our viewers today?
I'm all words of wisdom out. No, I'm just kidding. I'm really, really open to any future conversations, and I love opportunities like this. And I hope that I had said some things that really resonate with you. And my last words of wisdom are to be the buffalo, go out there and conquer the world. I'm happy to help you however I can.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a fantastic rest of your day.
Yes.